This is Jim Morningstar, and this is the first in our series of Returning to Source. I'm so happy today to be interviewing Carol Lampman.
Well, I've been working with infants for the last probably 20 years, and there was nothing more inspiring to me than to take a brand new being into the water and support them as they released trauma and reconnected to their essence. Over the years, I've seen so much trauma happen. I've seen that we know so much about trauma and shock these days. That what has happened to so many of us is that we have the trauma from birth. So in the beginning, I wasn't sure exactly where to start. But what I found is that each person, each infant, has their own innate ability to return to who they really are, return to source, to reconnect energetically. By taking the infant into water that is body temperature, where the water is ideal for the recreation of the womb. And before they're armored, or before they have an awareness that they don't want to be with you, that they want to be with their parents, and you as the facilitator become the neutral support for this person in the water with the parents, that naturally and organically, through the power of intention, through our prayer for healing, that includes the parents, something magical happens. We will know more about that as time goes on. Just like we know more about how the breathwork works now than we did when we first started working together. We know more. There's a language around it. 20 years of research has shown that not only can we remember the elements of our pre- and perinatal stages of development, but they have a lasting effect on us. Watching an infant who doesn't sleep through the night, who has feeding difficulties, who has bonding issues, watching that infant in 20 minutes in the pool sleep through the night. The digestive system has calmed down. The bonding with the parents have made a huge difference. That child, something magical is happening here. Sometimes the benefits are immediate. Sometimes they happen in the pool. And sometimes they show up over a period of days as the child continues to release, just like when we do breath work as an adult, that the benefits continue to evolve over hours or days or even weeks as that goes.
So a cesarean birth or a birth that resulted in the mother not even surviving, how do these affect the psyche, sense of safety of the child, and what can be done about it?
Well, if you were abandoned at birth, and of course the death of the mother would be an abandonment, it's like adoption. You have that abandonment issue. And of course then you're alone in the world. And if mother is of God, you've been abandoned not only by mother, but you've been abandoned by the life force of the universe, basically. So by doing the work in the water, what you get a chance to do is the infant gets a chance to reconnect, to connect with the adoptive parents, with the new parents. Cesarean birth might need to push or use their feet more or have a bit of a struggle, so we give them something to struggle against. Some babies are already curled up and tight, so we give them a chance to spread out and still keep them safe, let their body move in the water. So we take the birth story, what we know, and information about the parents, and then we just take all that information together, and then through the power of intention and by connection, you see, I'm the conduit for the healing energy at that point. I will not respond to a baby's crying. I don't talk to the baby till afterwards. Afterwards, I'm always very happy to exchange some smiles, and because no longer am I just the neutral party. I'm now a part of it. And so it has to have that neutrality. Parents could not do this for their own child. They should respond if the child cries. They should respond. They need to respond. But in this case, it's already set up. And on some level, we're looking for that altered state when the child's eyes just begin to move around as though they don't see anything around them. Or they close her eyes and her eyelids flutter. It's the same kind of hypnotic state, that trance state that the person in hypnosis goes through. And we see it spontaneously happen in the water.
I've heard you say that you are helping them rewrite their birth story, kind of like rewrite how they come into the world and how safe they feel in the world. What's the role of breath in this work that you do?
Well, for the infant, what we're doing is creating corrective experience, because, we can rewrite our story at any time. It's never too late to have a happy childhood, I always say. So the role of breath is, I stay with my breath. This is part of being the conduit. I'm staying with my breath. And, the prayer of intention is to provide healing. And I would not be able to, if I was in reaction, then of course I couldn't really be a conduit. So I trust the process completely. So I surrender to my breath while I'm working with the child. Then I use the skills I have and the experiences I have. The parents are also being coached to stay with their breath during the process, because they're also in the pool. So, of course, Source is there. In the very beginning, I used to have these flushes of energy, which would be almost like the Holy Spirit would come descending down upon the pool. And then the process would begin from there. I wouldn't wait and see it happen. Now it happens less, because I feel like I'm in that flow more on a moment-to-moment basis than I was even 20 years ago.
I can see that. Great. And for people who didn't have the chance to go through and repattern their own birth with someone like you, what do you recommend for adults who have the sense that there's still something from birth that's hanging on for them?
Yeah, well, at one time they used to think that rebirthing, you would go back to birth, and that's the process. What we know now is that the breath can be used in multiple different ways, that we might go back to birth again and again, healing different aspects of it, different phases of the birth itself, or different phases of the pre and perinatal stages of development. So, of course, in adults, water work is one of the best ways to do it, but it's not relegated to water work. I mean, water happens to be one of my favorite ways to work, but it can happen on the mat as well, because, maybe water isn't available. I still love to breathe in my bathtub, It's
Me too.
Yeah, because it's like, that's birth matrix 1, the matrix of unity, where we're connected to all that is.
Yes.
Because to the fetus, mother is God. So we are connected. Everything we need is provided. It's only when something gets in the way of that, we don't bring those resources with us. If we have some kind of interruption especially in birth matrix 1, whether there's violence in the home or the mother's upset about something, that's interrupted. So that's even more important than just having the trauma of being born. In an ideal world, mother and baby are working together to come to birth this new being into the world. And today's world, unfortunately, there's still too much medical intervention. I mean, we don't throw out the baby with the bathwater, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
There are times when medical interventions save lives, but there's still too much. And it takes a really strong parent to say, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to choose my own way. And I want to have a midwife. I want to do a water birth, or however that might be. But we can go back and recreate that. And we can take a baby into the water and rewrite that birth story, where there is safety in the pool, where then they're reunited with the parents, and where they nurse immediately after the session is over, where they're held and talked to and cuddled and cooed. I mean, it's very emotional to watch the parents with the baby after a water session. There's so much love. There's that much love, or the baby wouldn't be in the pool doing a session in the first place.
That's right. Yeah.
And the stories that go on and on about the healings that take place, and the mother who didn't feel bonded to her baby because her own birth trauma got in the way. So in this case, the baby won, and so did the mother, and they both benefited from the experience. And it changed that baby's life going forward, because the mother also did some releasing of her trauma and her rejection by her mother at birth. So, we do one of two things. When we have a split, she would have either been over dominant on that child in that child's life, or she would have done the same thing, been rejecting, without even knowing it. These things are so unconscious. I mean, the average person is only 10% conscious. So anytime we expand our consciousness, the energy in a room with a pool with a baby in a session is palpable. You walk in and you can feel it. It's just amazing. Because I've had people who've just been there to witness, and they just say you can feel the energy in the room. There's something holy about it, something sacred about the whole experience.
My birth of my daughter, even though it had more medical intervention than we had wanted, still was the greatest miracle in my life. And I can still get goosebumps just hearing you talk about it and think about it myself. So,
you want me to tell you the little story about the baby who was contracted?
Yes.
Okay. Because this is, to me, is a real example of how this baby was wanted, but they had lots of difficulties in holding the pregnancy. So it's almost like this baby, this fetus, was holding on to life, and the mother was on bed rest for a while, etc. And the baby was healthy, and everybody was happy, except for she was a student. She said, I want a water session because why not? It can't hurt anything. It can only help. So this baby, he came and spent the interview with us, and we were watching this baby playing on this blanket. And this baby was curled up, almost in a fetal position, on its back. But everything was full. It was playing with his feet all the time, which you might think is, is pretty normal. But she says he does that all the time. He's always curled. He's either on his side or even on his back. He's more in a fetal position than relaxed. In the water during the session, there was a moment where everything released, and for those who were watching, there was this sound everybody made as they saw this child spread out, like arms to the side, feet flat, and legs open. And he was just in this incredible state and stayed like that until I gave him to the parents. Afterwards, we were stunned. They were stunned. Afterwards, we were doing a follow-up, and here he was laying on the same blanket in the same place as beforehand. And his body was relaxed. He was laying fully on his back with his arms to the side and his legs down. She said she'd never seen him lay like that until after he had the session. He was always curled forward. So there was a certain amount of, to me, it was like, he was like really holding on to life. He was curled up. He was hanging on. Even though you could only see it by looking at the body. Looking at the body of a child. Watching his breath. He held his breath a lot, too. We've seen catches in breathing disappear in the pool. We've seen eating difficulties disappear in the pool. We've seen sleeping issues disappear in the pool. And how does it happen? Well, we know more now because research has given us more information. But it's been working even without the information. And we'll know more in another 10 years.
Absolutely. And it's a credit to people like you who are pioneers in this arena. We both started out with breathwork many, many years ago in the 70s, but you've taken it into the area working with infants, which takes a lot of courage and a lot of faith, Carol. I honor you for that.
Thank you.
And I also bless you because it's inspirational that we can, even as adults, we're not lost causes anymore, we can take that inspiration back to our own inner infant and give them that same sense of safety and trust in the world that you give the babies that you work with physically.
And that is why, so many times people think, I love breathwork because you can do it on your own. I will tell you, there are places we will not go without support. So having a facilitator can be an incredibly important aspect.
Absolutely.
Having somebody hold space for us.
Well, thank you for holding space for all of us today, Carol. Blessings to you. It is thoroughly my pleasure.